What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to what we're calling Cool Kids Hot Takes. With me today is my homies and carry the day, Chris and Isaac, and also, as always, the beautiful, the buff, Mr. Adam Allison.
I'm a tiny boy.
Tiny boy.
And I will thank you to remember me as such.
Man,
Appreciate you.
I'll work on it. Notes for next time.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So how you guys doing?
Doing all right, guys.
Dude, it's
Thanks
been
for having
over,
us on the show.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. It's been like over a year since we've seen you. We played a show back in November of 2023, and then 24 was just kind of a blur because it's already 2025.
Yeah, it's been a while.
2024 came and went. And 2044 is the year it is currently. Should we all be so lucky to make it? But we were just listening to your tunes to get like a little hype session going.
Yeah,
I gotta say how sad I am that we have not played with you since 2023.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, this is our shit.
Without a doubt. Dude,
These are our boys, dog.
We gotta make it happen.
We gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
We just gotta be holding hands and playing guitars.
Yeah, that was like how hyped I was for that last call show,
Yeah.
like in November, and it was unfortunate that it didn't really turn out very well. But I had a really great time because it also had our Dudes and Against the Sun on it, and
That's
it was
true.
like,
Yeah.
you like, in terms of like music wise, like you two are like what I would listen to in my spare time, just like trying to discover music that's not mainstream. It's like Against the Sun heavy, you guys like alt pop rock, and it's just like that they're. Chef's kiss. I have nothing else to say. It's like you want to see it on the fucking main stage of Warped Tour. That's what we would eat up.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
I was hoping that was a segue. All right, go for it.
I'm good at steering the conversation, but thanks for fucking blowing it.
All right.
I'm just kidding. So, Warped Tour, I believe the Battle of the Bands competition of badgering all your online friends to vote for you to play their Ernie Ball stage begins tomorrow.
Ooh.
You guys getting involved in that? You gonna at least register?
I don't know, man. I feel like we've done so many of those kind of like voting kind of like competitions.
It's exhausting.
It's like more of a popularity contest.
Yeah,
and
without a doubt.
I mean, I love to promote Warped Tour. I mean, we all love it. I mean, we all probably grew up with it, right? I mean, but it's just not for me.
But it's exhausting, right?
Know, yeah.
Those types of competitions, for sure. I remember we both entered into the competition to open for Lit at the House of Blues.
We did that.
And we had to make like a creative video to be like, why are you doing it? That kind of thing. And that was really stressful because we did end up making the final four, and then we got a bunch of like hate messages from like people that were voting for the other bands, and it was really.
They thought we were like trying to enlist bots and shit.
Yeah,
and,
it was.
Like, it got weird.
It was very ugly,
and it does turn into a popularity contest, and it's like really have all your friends vote for you. I haven't done that since middle school.
Yeah, no
right?
kidding.
Like
Yeah,
that was my
exactly,
8th grade band. Like what? That's crazy. Also, I had no idea that they were doing. I'm learning this in real time. That this is how they're getting the lineup for Warped Tour.
No. I think they roll out the competition for like smaller bands tomorrow.
Okay.
The lineup is slowly like being revealed throughout like this current month, right?
Like a trickle, yeah.
What have they done so far? So I know that in terms of like we're in Los Angeles, so shout out our Los Angeles homies. Well, not that we've really met them. We know Matt, the drummer in Honey Revenge. So they're on all 3 Warped Tour dates. Congrats to them. It's super awesome to see Matt take that platform like that. So big ups to them.
Yeah.
In terms of anything else that's been revealed, personally, the only band that I would check out, I mean, maybe I'm old, but Bowling for Soup. That's it. Everything else that's been like kind of rolled out, I don't know them, or I haven't ever listened to them.
Yeah. I think they rolled pretty much just like all the opening or like more like newer acts. I mean that we might have not heard from, and I mean like. I don't know, like, what you guys think about, like, the trickle. I mean, I know they, like, back way when they used to do that, right? They used to, like, trickle it out slowly. Personally, I love seeing, like, the lineup.
The whole
like,
thing.
The whole thing, like, holistically. I mean, like
the Riot Fest poster kind of thing.
Yeah,
that was my jam, too.
when-
You see the big names.
I
and then
agree.
the smaller
And
ones.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I'm thinking about just like the terms of like the online reception of the trickle right now. There's some people that are like, meh, and it's like not really getting that much of a buzz or anything versus like when they reveal the entire lineup for When We Were Young in Vegas. And that shit, at least from what I've seen, like goes viral like instantly.
Oh, it buzzes.
It spreads like
Yeah.
wildfire. And then the tickets sell out like crazy fast. There's a wait queue for it. And so like I agree. that I think in terms of what's been recent, especially when we were talking about like the short attention spans of like today's like consumer or concert goer. It's like, I guess the trickle is like trying to keep them like on a treadmill with the carrot in front of them. It's like almost got it, right? To keep their attention. I just don't think it's effective personally from what we're seeing.
Yeah, if the goal is to sell your tickets, release your lineup. If the goal is to get people to check in every day, I guess do the trickle. But that doesn't equate to more money making. So
that's good.
What are we talking about?
If they were trying to build hype around like this new idea, but like it's Warped Tour. Warped Tour's been romanticized for like over a decade now, and like the people that didn't get to go to that are old enough to now, that's like they look at that as like, this is our shot. It's like they're already interested. We don't have to sell it, right? Yeah.
Who's on the? I have no idea what's going on.
Like, I don't even know. I've never been a Warped Tour person myself.
Bowling for Soup and Honey Revenge.
Sick.
Those are the two that I know.
Sign me the fuck up. Let's go. 1985.
I also saw the home team made an announcement that they're going to play. I don't know if they're playing all three, but I know that my sister absolutely loves the home team, and they got their start on our same label, Revival, which is cool.
Sick. Yeah, I would love it if you mentioned like new age pop punk bands getting put in there. I would love it if they had like estate champs and stuff. Like,
I think they actually are on there. I absolutely love those guys.
I'm sure they have to have like some heavier, let's say, nostalgic hitters, right? And like, even though estate champs is not like your like early tier pop punk, like not like your Blink or even like your Fall Out Boy or Newfound Glory. They're like what, like second or third wave, even something like that, like teens.
It was like 2011ish
where they really started to hit. So it's like,
with Secrets.
Regardless of that, they still definitely have like, even nowadays, not to like make them sound old or anything like that. They're nostalgic. They're people that were like, oh yeah, that makes me think of college or high school still.
Totally. We were in college when that was happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. Both of us are early 20 teens. Yep.
Speaking of Warped Tour lineups, your shirt says what?
Linkin Park, baby.
Linkin Park. I really just wanted to pivot. I have not listened to the new record yet. I did like.
Did you like the two singles?
I did like the two singles. I was like, cool, all right, Linkin Park with a slightly different vibe, but a good Linkin Park, right? You think I should do that?
You definitely.
I will do that.
Our producer Jeff's into it too.
New singer, phenomenal.
Yeah, Emily's
great. A lot
of
people aren't on board, but just give it a chance. It's the same band, just same DNA.
Totally.
Different singer.
Totally. All right. I agree.
I'll do it.
A lot of people were bitching and complaining that they're like, why didn't you just form like a new group with a new name? Number one, if like you can't really think down the line of like why brand recognition of just the name Linkin Park wouldn't be a reason enough to keep that name, you're dumb. Like, and there's no point in having that conversation, right?
Sure.
Like, that's reason enough. But to go even further, it's like, as you just said, it's the same band with just a different singer, and that like, goddamn, Dance Gavin Dance got like their 18th singer at this point.
Yeah, and they still make it work.
18?
You know, no, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it might as well be.
I would say it probably topped out around 14. Let's be honest.
Anywho, but lastly, in terms of like this opening topic, like, are any of you Sum 41 fans?
Oh yeah.
So they played their final show in Toronto just this past weekend. I was watching highlights of that, and I was late to that party. I really was, but I will say that over the last year and a half, All Killer No Filler has very quickly become like one of my top 10 albums, and I was like, damn, I really missed out in my younger years. I'm getting into these guys because now I won't get the chance to see them. You know?
Yeah. Crazy. I really like those guys because they kind of like, in a sense, they kind of remind me of like us in a way, because like they have like two sides of the coin. They have their like, the heavy side, and they have their like pop punk side, and like a lot of the guys like in the band are like metalheads. Like Isaac is like a huge metalhead. I mean, like what are your like biggest influence? Like would you
honestly
say?
I grew up listening to like Exodus, Slayer.
Amazing.
Cool.
I mean, everybody needs one of those in the band. Yeah. Do you think our drummer listens to? It's not pop punk.
No. He introduced me to Disembodied Tyrant.
There you go. There you go.
The names get strikingly violent. It's a very aggressive
Necrophagist, like
absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, but like sort of like shit like that, like, and like combining that with like, I don't know, like, I mean, I grew up with like 2000 pop punk. I feel like a lot of
of course, like, early Fall Out
Boys
Boy,
like girls, like Yellow.
I don't know what that is. Please elaborate. I'm kidding. Jesus, everybody just looked at me like, what are you talking about?
I didn't know either.
The inside
Fuck
joke.
you,
But I
metalhead, you're
genuinely
insane.
did.
You're insane.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Oh. It beeps.
I didn't know that.
That's okay.
I didn't know that.
Now we all learned something. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, no, but yeah, Sum 41, absolutely love those guys. I mean, yeah, huge inspiration.
Least favorite and favorite Sum 41 records.
Least favorite.
You could just go song and not go crazy with the records. Fine.
They had a lot of records, man. They were putting out records, and people were like, "Wait, they're still putting out records," and they just kept
I
putting
gotta
out
like
records.
pull out my phone. I
Go for
gotta.
it.
This is. I take this seriously.
Dude, totally.
That's fair.
Hold on.
Absolutely.
So I guess. Oh my gosh. I think my favorite album actually would be Chuck.
Wow.
Chuck is like.
Whoa. Okay.
Chuck's super cool because again it's like they infused like that heavier sound but like still kind of kept it like I don't know if it was like radio rock like just super
Yeah,
cool.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's definitely them, and like maybe this is a bad comparison, but I also felt like Breaking Benjamin got a lot of success in terms of like having a heavy rock, maybe a little bit more like butt rock, but like they had a heavy rock that was crispy in terms of their songs, but it was radio friendly.
yeah and then my least would probably be Half Hour Power just because I don't know I don't think I know enough of the discography from it. I think it's just like it's pre like right before they like blew up and like went big and had
Totally.
that, like sound
Totally.
You know, if I may selfishly also answer my own question, my favorite has to be All Killer No Filler. I think you're crazy for choosing anything else, but I still respect you. I get it. I get
That's
it.
why we asked the question.
That's why we asked the question, and then we offer a hot take.
Hot take.
I just I liked Chuck. I owned Chuck.
yeah
But like, when they tried to do like the metal thing, it just never really fit for me. Because even on their last record, right, where the Heaven and Hell thing, it's like Landslide, pop songs, or Landmines, pop songs. Fuck yeah. Absolutely, sign me up. This is giving me like, Underclass Hero. It's giving me All Killer No Filler. And then like when they try to do metal stuff, I'm like, I'll just go listen to a better metal band. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I've always felt about it. That's a little aggressive. I love Sum 41, but that's how
That
I
is
always
the
felt
challenge
about
with
it.
writing that. That's like, that was our goal with Guarantee I Win, too.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like our one heavy song. It's like, it can't just be like, oh, they're trying to be cute, you know?
No, like by the way, yeah, that song is great. Like it gives
thank
me
you.
like definitely heavier influences. I know like the other local band peers Against the Sun, you were kind of inspired.
Totally.
by
Yeah,
that.
I was like, we want to be able to play with them, so we're going to write a heavy song.
Yeah, it kind of like gives me like a Pierce the Veil vibe. I mean, you guys are kind of inspired by them too.
Most
like,
definitely. Nailed it. Right on the head,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
He got me into Pierce the Veil. I never like
At
so-
first, you did not like that.
At first, I
really?
couldn't. Yeah, like so he said
it-
he missed All Killer No Filler, and I like loved All Killer No Filler. I grew up on it, right? Because I loved the shiny poppy punks thing.
Yeah.
And what like we basically have done a swap in our last couple of years.
Yeah, kind of.
I like he's discovered a lot of that stuff, like and like the classic Blink records too. He's like come back and be like,
Yeah,
wait a second, I like this
I was
one.
not a Blink guy.
Yeah. And I've come around and I'm like, hold on, why are people singing? I just want to scream. That's what's like. So I was bumping what's the Under Oath record with the mask on the face?
Oh, Chasing
The Safety.
Yeah.
They're only chasing safety or
That's
something
it,
like
that's
that. Yeah. I was listening to that. I've never listened to that record, and I was listening to it and I was like, it gets me, you know? I was like, this is so I'm just coming around to like that whole thing. So he got me into Pierce the Veil.
Totally.
And I was
Yeah,
like, I hate this. And then I like sat with it for a while and I was like, wait a second, I absolutely love this. And then I,
pulled a 180 for
I
sure.
pulled a 180, got into with
Yeah.
Sleeping with Sirens, and now I'm way into like, because I totally missed Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah.
And now I'm way into Bring Me the Horizon,
Totally.
especially since they started doing pop punky kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And now my jam is Electric Callboy as well. So if you guys know Electric Callboy,
Yeah.
I love Electric Callboy.
We
Way
can keep
into it.
talking about these influences and Warped Tour stuff, but I want to get a little bit more into your music, so we're going to take a quick little break in that, and when we come back to the main segment, we're going to get into more of your story, your process. I want to talk to you about your studio stuff and all that kind of thing. So thanks for watching. Stick with us. We'll be right back. This is Cool Kids Hot Takes.
Cool.
Welcome back to Cool Kids Hot Takes. My name is Ryan Scotty. I'm here with my buddy Adam Allison. And we got our boys in Carrie today, Isaac and Chris with us. We're going to talk a little bit about their music now in terms of stuff that they've done in the past. Where do you guys record?
So I mean,
Varies.
we record.
Varies?
Yeah, it varies. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I feel like we start recording like our demos like at my place, like just have like a little studio setup.
Of
like
course.
this, but yeah, that's kind of how we do it.
But that's the demos. Do you just use those tracks and that's it, or do you go somewhere else and record more?
No, so right now we go to a studio called Skylit Sound, and they're out in like Gardena. Really, really cool. And we work with an engineer. His name's Matt Dennis. Nice. He's national touring bassist in Diamante. I don't know if you guys know him.
I don't.
But yeah, really, really great studio. Absolutely amazing engineer with the drum sounds and all that.
Yeah.
And like really good at like producing and making like song decisions too. So that's
Awesome.
who we've been working with recently.
Right on. You said left the building. Next question.
Lost it?
Yeah, I totally lost it. It just totally left my brain.
So he's who you've been working with as of recently. You did Paper Hearts and Silhouettes with him, and
Yeah, no. So that was with another producer,
Okay.
a film producer that we were working with.
cool. What do you find is like material wise? What do you find like tend to write about subject wise? Because like with us, it just doesn't really apply to you that much. Just being blunt and obvious. But we are a band of 4 pale white boys. So nobody wants to listen to me really talk about my problems or my struggle. Just being honest in this day and age. So our whole thing in terms of like trying to keep it light, like you like what you like. We're not trying to be offensive. We're just trying to be fun. We get it for not your cup of tea. We're not trying to be offensive that way. But like we're more like that's where like our dad jokes come from, and like just it's not that deep, bro. Like but, some artists like have a real firm intention in mind on what they want to talk about, what's valuable and important to them. And I'm curious if there's things like that for you guys.
I think it just kind of varies. We've had topics as far as like breakups, as far as topics of just social issues or personal issues like addiction. Mm-hmm. Then sometimes it just varies with
I feel like we kind of pull from personal experiences, whether it's mine or like other bandmates. Like we were saying, like we had one song called "Playing the Victim," and that was kind of pulling from like family, like problems with family addiction in other people's families. Or I mean, Backup Plan was also like it was very much, I wrote that as like a like you got one life, you got one shot, take the chance, very like on the nose, but very inspirational. And then like something like Picture Perfect, which is like one of our newer singles, that's like kind of stems from like me having a little like social anxiety or like feeling anxious in a certain setting. So yeah, just pulling from personal experiences, I feel like it's just like it makes the song that much better to me.
Now when you make like an impact and you get people to actually like listen to your stuff, do you find that sometimes the reactions because for me, like I noticed immediately, like the last song that we wrote was a dedication memorial to my husky that passed away, and somebody at our show yesterday actually said, "Play Morty," and I felt like, man, what an intimate detail that they know already about my life that I didn't expect. And like, so when you write songs and you get like a reception from them, do you find like there's easier things to like talk about in terms of your song, or like a past relationship, be like, yeah, that person, but they helped me grow and blah, blah, and all this kind of stuff, versus something that was like really, really intimate, like kind of personal attachment. It's like, and they kind of like ask you questions about that, and they maybe don't know you that well, and it's like, I'm not gonna spill my guts to you right now. The song is kind of what you get, you know? Like I don't know, maybe I'm word vomiting here, but like I think you get what I'm talking. Is like, is there's things that are easier in your material to talk about with other people that are not in the band versus songs that are harder to talk about?
I think it's like all of it's like hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's kind of like if you're listening to the lyrics in the song and really analyzing it, it's kind of like I have a heart on my sleeve, or like the band has a heart on their sleeves. And I think like the beautiful thing about music is that when people like they resonate with that, and you like see like that they get the message that you're kind of like put across, like I think that's like a really beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Yeah, I remember with Beautiful Disaster, the lyrics are very, very strong. And I remember going into work and my friend's like, hey, like who wrote that song? And I was like, oh, we kind of did it. And he's like, specifically the lyrics. And I was like, oh, Chris. He's like, do you check up on him? And I was like, what do you mean? And then after I was like thinking about it, I was like,
how's bro doing?
That's like,
Yeah.
it's like he's going through it.
I texted Chris. I was like, "Hey, like, bro, are you good? By the way, like, I just kind of realized like how powerful this song is lyrically wise."
So yeah, like when you're creating it, and like you might not be thinking about that dimension, and so somebody that maybe is hearing it as a consumer for the first time has no part of like the development or the writing process, like gives you that different perspective, and you're like, oh, I should hug them.
You know? Oh my god! And yeah, you never told me this. That's crazy.
I told you this.
I've never.
Excellent. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's a great story. That's really fantastic. Really, it is.
I love the response. Like, hey, how is bro doing? That is so funny. It's tough though, because like I've definitely thought like, oh, these are personal things, right? Maybe I do, maybe I don't want other people to have them, right, memorialized on the internet one way or the other. But like the best songs always come from when you have something to say that's very specific, at least I think, right? So it's like, I mean, you look at like Ben Folds and Brick, and you look at
Ben Folds. That's a name I haven't heard in years.
He's so good.
Dude, I mean,
so good.
Amazing piano player. I definitely
Incredible.
like him and Elton John are like two of my like keyboard inspirations
Yeah.
of like wanting to be good at that instrument.
Rightfully so. He's amazing. Or you look at like the success of like Death Cab's records, and then they I can't remember, there was like a peak, they like peaked with plans, and then like they did some stuff, and I think their general popularity kind of came down a little bit. Everybody still loved Death Cab though. And then publicly Zoe and Ben like broke up, and then they put out a record, and it was like, holy shit, like this is beautiful and amazing and intense, you know. And it's just like, it's tough, like because you have to have something to say, otherwise your song blows, because you have nothing to fucking say. Haha, you suck, you know. But like it's tricky when you're putting out really intimate personal details or thoughts that you haven't necessarily communicated to a lot of other people around you. Maybe sometimes I actually sent you some song ideas in the last couple of months. That's why I'm going on about this. I'm like, oh man, I did send you some personal things recently. Like,
so,
oh god.
on that specific subject, like for specifically Get Busy like Dying, like they like came up with, it was a music part, but it was very, very specifically like a lyric that he was feeling. Like we knew that lyric was going to be part of the song. Yeah. And I typically don't really write like that. I tend to write music first, and I want the music to give me the feeling of what to talk about. And so I'm like picky with my melodies and my chords that way, because I'm searching for like this certain like emotional state that makes me feel like I can pin it with my words, whatever it might be. So is there anything like that? Do you guys do lyrics first? You guys do music? Have you ever done a flip-flop of those things?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Done lyrics first? I can't
No.
think of any.
Like I think we write really similarly in that like we have like the song structure laid out, and it's kind of the same thing. Like either like the song there will be a meaning that pops out, or they'll be like, oh, here a line should go here, a line should go there, and then it just starts to form itself, like the meaning or the song in general. Totally. But like I feel like we're super analytical.
Yeah.
Like with it, we used to just like jam it.
Yeah.
I mean, like we were like almost like Rolling Stones, like blues jamming off each other, and that's how like.
The beginning, I think, was really
yeah. But now it's a lot more meticulous.
Yeah. So that's cool that you say that in terms of like jamming it out, because that's kind of how Guarantee I Win came to be. And we don't normally like write like this like in the practice room, but that's how that started. Like after, in between every songs, we would like make the joke, oh, we want to be a heavier band. So Adam would start just messing around with some sort of like minor progression or a breakdown of some sort. And then throughout the weeks, he started to kind of play it, and we would literally like just on the side develop it, and it would get stuck in my head all the time. And then when it got stuck enough, and I had him show me just like, what's that one thing that you play? I remembered it, and like immediately after practice demoed it out, so I had those chords, and like literally wrote almost the entire song just based off that idea that was a jam, right? And it was like rare in that sense of like just using the feeling in the room of everybody being together. And that's one of the things that I like to talk about a lot is chemistry. Like in the writing process. Is that like you guys, like you two, because like Adam and I are like a partnership that way. That's why I said it's kind of rare for us to do it like the four of us, but that's like kind of how that particular one happened. Do you guys have a process like that?
Similar in a way. We try to get together as much as we can, but with availability, it kind of like, it's hard to get everyone in the same room sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of cycle through. So I mean, like it'll be me with like Luke, our bassist, like writing one session, and then me with like Ian drumming, like just like putting down like his beats, and like we kind of like put pieces of us into it, and like we kind of come together and like look at it and like, hey, this needs to improve, this doesn't, but like it's like a full collaboration.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
Excellent.
Nice.
Love it.
So speaking of like full collaboration, you said you work with your producer engineer named
Matt Dennis.
Yeah. How important to you in your process is a trusted producer and engineer in general?
Honestly, it goes a long way. I feel like it's kind of like a therapist. They could either tell you...
This man abuses his producer.
No, like,
I'm just kidding.
You're being so vulnerable in front of them. We were just talking about that. I love that you said that. Continue.
Absolutely.
That's great. Elaborate.
Because you're trusting them with your ideas and your person, like just your person. And they could either just be like, that sounds like shit, but you're paying me $3,000, so I'm not going to change it. Or you're paying them and they're like, this doesn't sound good. I like this, do that, and make it sound a whole lot better.
Totally.
So they're either robbing you or just making you the best.
So for us, that's the chemistry thing again. It's like we can feel that usually like within like the first 2 hours. If they're like, this is just a punch the button, this is a job, get me out of here with these guys, or they're like, let me see what I can help with. Like, how can I be a part? Because he's obviously an integral part of this process. Why not add to the energy of the room? So whenever I'm sitting in that chair and I'm doing that kind of thing, I try to be, if I'm not like, no, you got the feeling, that's it. Like, as you said, being your therapist. If I'm not that, I'm your ego pump. I'm making you feel like this should be one of the best songs and you should feel hyped about that. Because you want to capture whatever is the best energetic emotion. And if you're feeling that, if somebody else is hyped on your song that way, making you feel better about the process, then the overall process is more fun and enjoyable as a result.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So when I'm sitting in that seat and I'm really trying to like make them feel good about their songs, it's just in that effort of, one, showing that I'm invested in their project. Two, I want them to feel just as good, if not better, about their own creation.
Yeah, and I mean that's how it should be. I mean, we've been on the other side of the coin too, where
that's a bummer.
We've worked with a producer that had like this many credits or whatever, go in the studio with them, and I mean, it's just like they kind of look at you like a paycheck.
Yeah.
Or I mean, like
dismissive.
Yeah, we had one guy.
Oh, it's shitty. Okay.
Yeah,
let's
like
keep
they're
going.
beneath you, right? And it's like,
yeah.
I don't want to make art in that environment.
Yeah, no, and we've had like one guy like step out for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. We're paying this guy, and
God.
I mean, and he comes back and like nothing happens, and we're just like, it just totally messed the vibe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Have you ever had how hands-on is any producer in your music in general? Just curious. Like, do they come in with a hacksaw and you're like open to ideas, or is it like you come in with your song and 95% of that song is what gets recorded?
I feel like it's usually like 95. Yeah. We come in super right.
That's the way to be.
Yeah.
That really is the way to be.
Yeah. Has anybody talked to you about having too many intros, or is it just like something?
Just me.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you shit for fun's sake.
I don't think anyone's ever been like.
But so at the same time,
seconds.
it's like, I know we keep using that as an example, but like the bottom line is like I kept going back to that song. So it's like,
it's a great song.
Like in the same thing as like music theory. It's not music law, music rules. It doesn't say you have to follow these things. You don't have to have just one intro. Obviously, it's still gripping and awesome enough of a song that I kept going back to it. It's just upon further listens, I just noticed that there were like 3 dimensions to that intro, and they were all good.
They're all good,
and like they did their job. So it's like,
No,
again, it's not rules or anything like that. I guess that was just my word vomit thoughts. Well, like, critiquing while also being like, but I fucking love it though. You know?
That's the thing. That was actually so. I used to produce bands in Hollywood for a while, and like I noticed like people's best songs, they weren't people's most popular songs. They weren't always like their best songs entirely. They were just they had a moment that was really good. And if it was the intro, if it was the verse, it didn't really matter. People just kind of come back to that part over and over again.
Yeah.
So and we saw that more and more with like TikTok and stuff and stealing sounds and whatnot.
The short attention spans.
Totally. So as much as I like to joke about giving you shit, the intros are great. So
thank you. We stand by.
Yeah.
As you should.
I don't know about
should.
you. You
As
started
you should.
hating long
But
intros.
you know, it's like
I've done my job as a producer. So have you.
I still like the long intros, like Slayer, Raining
Yeah.
Blood, just
Totally.
for like the whole.
Yeah. Now I'm the one acting the long intros. I feel
Yeah.
like I don't know.
That's something that's really important for us with a guy that we work with, Nick Rad. Like he'll just shoot us a text and be like, "Hey guys, we got 30 seconds in here that's just sitting around."
Yeah, so
like,
let me go
we
deeper.
just get that out.
Go deeper in it. That is one thing that did actually happen in the post production. So we recorded this like our last upbeat song called "Always," and it has like this kind of like computery intro with vocals, and then it kicks right into the song. There was like a whole intro guitar solo that was completely and totally scrapped. Totally scrapped.
He's like, "Bring it back, bring it back."
And when he suggested, I was like, "Do it. I want to hear it." And then I did it, and I was like, "Nope, this is way better. The flow is way better. This weird guitar part just feels forced because like yes, it's like a solo, but it never comes back at any other point in the song, and it doesn't do anything for the song that the intro just going 1, 2, 3, 4 and gang vocals didn't already accomplish."
Yeah.
And so we call that term like musical masturbation, right? So it's just like if you're like beating that, it's just like, oh, but it's so cool.
Yeah. Part salad. Part salad, or you're like kind of beating yourself off there. Yeah, for sure. That being said, it's put more intros in. Some people
Put
need
more intros in.
Solo intros.
Yeah, solo intros. You know what? I don't want to hear a guitar until 2:30. All right,
2:30.
2 minutes and 30 seconds, and I just want drums the whole time.
Or just a giant cymbal swell.
Just a 3-minute cymbal song.
That's the song.
We're getting
Just
pretty
for you
abstract.
guys. Just for you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll be listening to the
forward
next
to it.
song.
Look forward to
I'll
it.
be listening to the next thing you all put out, and I will be demanding credit. All right, featuring CWK if there's a simple song in there. Okay?
Totally. So that's the other thing that we actually have kind of thought of. I haven't floated out much. I think we've only talked about it once, but that was the other thing that we have not really done much of is collaboration with other singers / other artists in like our scene. And so we're definitely looking at that, wink wink, for our full length. Just keep it in mind. But you know,
I'm learning all kinds of things.
we've only talked about it once, but it's like, you know.
True.
But it's all good. Yeah. So yeah, when we come back, we're going to take a quick little break again. And when we come back, we're going to talk about just what do you guys got next. I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions like guitar brands, blah, 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 why or why not, what's your next plans for singles, releases, EP, blah, blah, blah. And then just a little bit more like meaningful like question in terms of hot take. What's the most meaningful thing that you can do in your scene apart from actually just playing music? Cool. This is Cool Kids Hot Takes. We'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back to Cool Kids Hot Takes. With us is our homies in Carry the Day, Chris and Isaac. We're wrapping up our conversation tonight. We're talking about things that we're doing in the future for the rest of this year. So what's on the docket for 2025 for you guys?
And before you answer that question, is it shoes with laces, or are you just exclusively a Velcro man?
Oh, there's the hot take.
I don't know. I like Velcro. We're bringing Velcro.
You've always worn Velcro now that I think about it.
Really?
I swear, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Velcro. Very taking it back to the 5-year-old me. You know.
I love it. Respect it. Efficiency at its finest.
Exactly.
Now, plans for 2025, like he asked.
Switching to Velcro.
Hot take.
Yeah, I mean 2025. We're trying to put together an EP, just like maybe like
Love
five or six songs. A little more modern sounding is what we're trying to push forward towards. So more keys, more synths, more solos.
Yes, more
Yeah?
intros.
More intros?
More intros for sure. Yeah,
Intros
definitely.
and guitar solos. 2026. Taking off.
Still trying to keep like our roots of what everyone knows us for as like the early 2000s style vibe, but now we're just trying to incorporate more synths and make a fusion.
Totally.
Is there a band that you look for inspiration with that?
Avenged Sevenfold for sure.
Okay,
because
that's cool.
they use a lot of synths, keyboard, and stuff like that. Dream Theater.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then
cool.
Muse. I mean, who's doing it now? Like Bring Me, obviously. Bring Me the Horizon.
That's one of our influences,
Obviously,
newer.
Architects. They are killing it
Okay,
right now.
okay.
Those guys are pretty heavy, and it's great.
Dragon Force.
Dragon.
I was gonna
That's very softly.
You keep throwing out like some zingers. He's like, Bring Me the Horizon. You're like, Dragon Force. And I'm like, oh, whoa. What's the record gonna be like? We're just fucking tapping the whole time.
Oh, they're gonna love the
do-
piano
we-
tap I got in one of the songs.
We do got some tapping, yeah.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah, man.
8-finger.
I love that. I look forward to hearing it. I like that you guys are doing a package rather than singles. Call me old or a purist or whatever, but I like the idea of doing a package release of songs. Even if you trickle singles out, it's like, you know, it's really cool that we have like this package CD that was like this body of work, this songs, and they're kind of like together. They're not necessarily a concept album, but they weave into each other and they lean on each other. Are you guys doing anything like that with your material? You're gonna like have songs that like play off of each other, or is it like one song's one subject, one side? Are you doing a concept or anything like
I
that?
feel like I caught on what you're trying to do, and I didn't realize it, but we're working on this like evil chorus, like dark song, and you put a synth that like bleeds out in the end. I was like, why is this so long? Then I realized, oh, because we talked about it before, maybe having that synth ring out, but then that also be the intro of a new song.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that, yeah,
I was like,
I mean,
oh, I
yeah,
don't even
super
know what
cool.
that
Like,
is.
I don't know, yeah, like those kind of things I draw inspiration from, like, I don't know, like Radiohead, like the end of their songs, like super abrasive, or like Linkin Park, like they'll have like a fade out or like a transition that goes into another song, and I mean, like, you wouldn't necessarily like if you wanted like a clean cut song, you'd just be like, all right, just cut next track.
yeah,
But like,
right,
I
hard
just
out.
think it's like transition moments like that just make it so much more interesting to me.
Yes, and the package too. In
Yeah.
terms of like how it goes in, the ones that I love that stuff too. I got inspired for those same things from Enter Shikari. They did a lot. They had at least their first like really big album with like the Warped Tour days, Take to the Skies. The whole album is just fades one song to the next. So from top to bottom. And I loved that concept. We didn't do that for our whole EP, but we did have two times in the EP where it went from one song to the next. So we love that kind of like chain thing too. I also think when we talked about attention spans as well, that kind of helps to keep them. If there's a break, and it's like that's an opportunity for them to check out and open up TikTok, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, so
It's interesting too, because it's also like harder. I as you were describing it, I feel like it's harder to do that today, because like the full length is kind of dead, but it's
Yeah.
not dead.
yeah.
But like you love I love going on Spotify and just cruising through a record.
Yeah, I do.
That's
that
my
same
jam.
thing.
I do
And
too,
like
yeah.
if it's a better record, that's great. But like everybody cares about like, you know, a playlist and getting your single on and stuff. And so it's hard to like do that thematically and make sure that the songs all, you know, you're not taking away from a song in order to serve your thematic purpose.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
song still has to stand on its own, because it's got to exist on a playlist. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
yeah.
Otherwise, you have nothing. So it's tricky to do, but it's cool. I'm excited to hear what you guys are doing.
You just did another hot take.
I'm a hot boy.
Yeah, man.
I'm a hot boy.
Yeah, dude. To me and you, at least I'm the same way personally right now. I don't rarely listen to a playlist. I'll jam a record. At least the first 4 songs on it, like in a
Yeah,
row,
yeah.
and how they flow. That's
Yeah.
the way that I personally listen to music, even if it's like a 10, 15 minute drive.
Yeah.
I won't listen to scattered songs. I'll put on a record that I like, usually from the top. So what ends up happening is I listen to those first 2 or 3 songs a lot on the record, and if they're really, really good on those longer drives, that will lead me inevitably to actually playing their full record. That's how I really fell in love with From Under the Cork Tree from Fall Out Boy. Was when I first got my license, was 2005. when that record
yeah.
came out, right? So that's don't do the math, don't add it up. Don't do it. But yeah, so when I finally got the opportunity to not just drive back and forth like to high school, which was only like 10-15 minutes, and we got like an hour drive for whatever it was, and I actually by myself got to blast an album in the car, like the start to finish thing was super relevant to me. And so our hot take, I guess, is that albums aren't dead, but with today's attention span, are they dead? What do you guys think?
I think it's a mix for sure, because I know people that are
Way to
prefer
play
the
both
albums,
sides, very
both
sly.
sides are-
Yeah.
No,
It's
keep
just
going.
it's how
Keep
I see
going,
it,
keep
but
going.
Yeah.
I feel like singles are cool, but then I listen to a single and I'm like, dude, I want more. Like,
Yes.
I just got the hamburger, but where are the fries? Where's the salad? Like,
That's
I
I
like the
love
combo.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I like that.
great.
how do you
Yeah.
feel?
Me, I don't know. Yeah, I always like prefer like a full product, man.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I mean, just like, yeah, I don't know. Like listening to the whole album. That's what I
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Like, don't you hate when you go to a restaurant and you're like, I want this burger, and you're assuming it's coming with fries, and you just get the burger by
Yeah,
itself?
now you get the fries next week.
Fries are on the
Next
cart.
song.
That's why they're so cheap.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly,
God
right?
damn it. Please, no. Well, on your new music, Fender or Gibby?
That's like,
Or do you use different
Fender.
brands? Right?
Well,
because I feel
it's
like
like
you guys
chocolate and
aren't-
vanilla. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay,
you want
okay.
the, you want the Neapolitan.
What do you like? What do you play?
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
funny enough, I used to fucking hate Schecter.
Okay, but now you play
Well,
check. So it's like
yeah.
him and Pierce the Veil.
Yeah.
I used to just
180.
hate it because I always had Ibanez Jackson my whole life.
Yeah, I saw you play a Jackson once at like the
Yeah.
first show that I saw you guys play.
Then Luke brought his backup guitar and it was a Schecter, and I was like, I'm never gonna play this. But then I played it once. I
Broke a
was like,
string? Or something?
No, I
Oh,
just
okay.
we did like some show where they were sponsored by Schecter, so then Luke was like, just use my Schecter, and I was like, fine, all right. Then I played it and I was like, didn't like it. Then I went to Guitar Center and I saw a different Schecter. Then I really liked how it felt, the skinny fretboard, wide fretboard,
Okay.
the heaviness, and I fell in love. Then I came back. It was like when Squidward tried the Krabby Patty the first time. Like I was like, no, I still hate it, but dude, I love this thing. And
This
now-
guy in burgers, am I right?
I mean, it's a
Alright,
good
make me
analogy.
better.
Everybody's
I
got
had a burger before I came.
Who'd you
That's
come
right.
on?
Hot take.
That just came out before I could think about it. Hey, same. That's relevant
And
to the
the
last
interview.
show.
There we go.
I had a burger before I came. Sorry.
can't. Oh my god.
That's a good one.
What about you, Chris? What do you What do you play?
me. So for the longest time, I played a G&L Legacy.
Okay.
So those are, I mean,
GNL.
G&L. So the L in the G&L is Leo Fender.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy's
yeah.
company.
So
I've
they're
always
like-
wanted one of those.
Yeah, yeah. So they're like, it's like a Fender Strat, but like it's on steroids. Like
Yeah,
it has
okay,
like a.
okay.
I mean, like it's great.
A little beefier.
Yeah, a little
Cool.
beefier. It has like even like a little like switch for like I don't know more like treble.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that is really cool, buttery smooth. And then there's another guitar that I use right now. It's a Godin. I don't know if you guys ever.
Yeah,
I see. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Go down sick.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Absolutely.
Sparkle finish. I mean, like,
Oh,
yeah,
fun.
just put some like locking tuners on that stuff.
Is it like a Les Paul style?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like a Les Paul Jr. style. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's
Beautiful.
really nice.
That's sick. I'm so jealous. I love that like Les Paul but not Les Paul thing. Like I've always wanted like the Gretsch Duo Jets and shit like that. Like,
Oh,
I've
yeah,
always
yeah.
wanted one of those because
Yeah,
I
those
just
are
think they're
cool.
so dope.
We like those Gretsch hollow bodies too that we
I'm
recorded with.
I
In our
love-
early college days, we did an EP for like our senior body of work, and he recorded most of that EP on that Gretsch, and it was really, he was like fell in love with that thing.
It was a Gretsch Chet Atkins.
It was an
Signature model?
an enormous
It
guitar.
was a huge ass. Well, but like we're recording emo pseudo prog rock.
yeah, it was weird.
There is no reason for me to have a Chet Atkins signature guitar on this record. Every rhythm track was
Every
that
rhythm
through a
track, baby.
Fox,
Oh,
baby.
yeah, baby.
And you know
Oh,
what?
dang.
Sounded great. Sounded great. Because
Oh,
Nick
man.
knew what he was doing.
He did, he
Nick
did.
was probably like, this fucking asshole will not put down the goddamn jazz guitar. Like, and I'm like, no, I gotta play
It's so
it.
cool. What are you
It's
talking
so
about?
great. I gotta play it. Look at all the chordal tones I can play with it. Nick.
So that was college for us. But dudes, I mean, thank you so much for coming on the show with us, hanging out. The whole basis of this show is just trying to like form more of an open conversation, not necessarily musicians or other bands or things like that, but anybody can be on the show if they want to participate within their local scene or whatever you phrase it as. So one of the things that we do try to like talk about, at least at some point, in this one we're doing at FEM, is what's like a meaningful thing that you can do to show your support. Like we play shows, but then it's like we talked about a little bit before the show in terms of like breaking the ice, going up to people that you haven't met, being the person to introduce yourself to other bands that you haven't met, and like just being more personable that way, and also trying to not do it like as an empty face, like to their faces, but like go home that night and keep in touch online, support their stuff, like their posts, and like build more of a network that way, which is of course what everybody wants in theory. But then, you know, we get those bands that are just like all about themselves. They get to the show 20 minutes before their set, they pack up and they leave right after their set. And it rubs everybody the wrong way. So the last open-ended question for both of you is, what is, besides your own creation and music and performance, what's the most meaningful thing that you think you can do within your local music community to make that difference, make a reach, connect, whatever?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be like showing up. Like, I mean, obviously, like,
doesn't have to be a crazy complicated answer. I totally agree.
I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Show up, stay, you know, support, you know, like support all the acts on the bill, you know, get to know people. I mean, like, just like if you're going into it like looking out for your best interest and only like seeing like what can I get out of this, you're going at it wrong. Like,
totally,
really,
you just want to be looked at, right?
Yeah, no, like you should be like, who can I meet today? Like, who can I just like?
Yes.
Like, there's so many talented people, like especially in LA. Like, I mean, it's like, if you're just gonna do the me game, like, why are you doing this? You know, so
Totally.
Doing it for vanity, for ego or something like that. But like, you know, for you guys that are, you know, you can see through your music and knowing you guys for the past couple of years, you live this. It is part of who you are. It is not a platform for popularity. Like, sure, the recognition is nice. Everybody wants to be recognized for what they do. God damn, you don't think a Subway sandwich maker is like, damn, that was a good sandwich. You don't think they're going to feel better about that? They might blow you off a little bit, but they're like, I did make a damn good sandwich. Fuck yeah.
Made the shit out of that sandwich.
Right?
For this guy. Because he likes sandwiches a lot.
Yeah, that's right. And he likes burgers. But anyways,
burgers.
Like,
he's a burger sandwich.
Again, everybody likes to be recognized, and it doesn't cost that much or take that much effort to give. If you're already in the environment, like you said, just show up, and then to go one step further, even if it's just a simple, great set. I appreciated watching it. Whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. Even if you don't necessarily mean it, doing that personality-wise, for me, leaves an effect, right? Like, I'll remember you. I want to stay in contact with you. Anything to add to that? Anything to that?
Chris really hit it out of the ballpark with that, but if I had to add something, it'd just be mosh.
Just mosh. You add that energy.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
There's nothing more disheartening than you're at a show that's like relatively decently attended, and then you're starting to set up and you see the crowd file out.
That was like, we had an experience like that when we opened up for Norma Jean.
Oh,
we were like the softest band, and we were playing our heaviest stuff. We're like, all right, let's get this pit going. Everyone just...
Everyone was like stonewalling us.
So yeah, we do at a similar show. We play with "I Set My Friends on Fire." The whole lineup was like crabcore, and we're like, we got 2 songs like that.
Yeah.
They didn't.
They didn't like it. Can't please them all. Can't get them all.
It's true. You can't please them all. So it's like we just try to like not take ourselves so serious and just have fun, right? And dude, it's been really, really fun hanging out with you guys today. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting us.
This is Carry of the Day. This is Chris and Isaac from Carry of the Day. Check them out. Their songs are absolutely phenomenal. They're great songwriters. If you live in the Southern California area, check out their schedule. Come to a show. Come say hey and support. This has been Cool Kids Hot Takes. This is Chris, Isaac. This is my buddy Adam. My name's Ryan. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.